And people go, okay, I don't get that. And so the business part, I went to school, collected my degrees, and I actually became a college professor. I was a marketing professor. And it's a great job if you don't want to eat. So I took the best classes. Remember when you were in school and suddenly you go to a class and went, that was really cool, I'm actually going to use that. I took those and became a professional speaker. And I went to companies and I gave seminars and I went to organizations and all that stuff. And when you do that, your calling card is the book you wrote. Therefore, I started writing books. I now have 5. These, by the way, are the door prizes. So, business book, Christian book. And then there was a divorce, and I started working as a writer. These people were like, hey, we've heard you and we know you, and so we want you to be an IT writer. Okay, fine. It turns out when you write, you can write on anything. So, you know those people who are like singers and they're always singing? They can't stop singing. They don't even know they're singing, right? I have no musical abilities. I cannot. I play the radio, okay? I play it to talk radio. I mean, I'm really not musical. Writers can't help but write. So I was doing that. So I'm a business person, right? It makes perfect sense. And the phone rings and people talk about how pastors and chaplains got a calling, right? I got a phone call. Hi, would you like to be a chaplain? I said, actually, I'd love to be a chaplain. I don't have the education. We'll train you. I was like, really? And so I am now certified as a chaplain, which makes perfect sense, the Christian side of me. So the spiritual side of me, if you prefer. So now I'm working as a business chaplain because companies that have chaplains available have lower attrition, better retention, workplace employee satisfaction, which trickles down to customer satisfaction. We work with companies as small as 1 or as large as hundreds. There are thousands of business chaplains in America. You just haven't heard about us yet. So that's me, and today, I am so sorry, I told you I was going to do how to control your business, changed my mind, okay? Because there are only 4 things you can control in your business. I don't care if you're Microsoft or Nike, but that's not what we're going to discuss. We discussed time management the other day, and it went over really well, and the cool thing about time management is it affects your personal life as well as your business life. So I'm going to just basically share some ideas. Pick and choose something that might work for you. If you want more, let's have a one-on-one. I would love to have one-on-ones with everybody, just like everyone else in this room. Even if we've already had one, let's catch up. So, different ideas for time management. My favorite is the one-touch rule. The one-touch rule says, once you've handled it, you have to deal with it, okay? And that means you only touch. So when you go home and you have your coat, you do not drop it over the chair, you hang it up because you're employing the one-touch rule. Now, who knows what a round file is?
Trash can?
It's the trash can, right? If you put the round file and the one-touch rule together while you're opening your mail, really successful, okay? I always open my mail over the trash can and bam, some of it I don't even bother to open. I don't need Value Pack. I'm sorry. I know the people who advertise in there are great companies. They just don't sell anything I need. So that's another one, is round file everything. Most important one, I think, that's not the most important one. A really important one is have an organizational system that works for you. I don't care if it's an agenda, a calendar, if it's a list. How many of y'all are list makers? Okay, list makers only get to answer this question. You did something not on the list. You add it for the joy of crossing it off. Absolutely.
I've done before, but I joke.
Organizational system. Okay? The best thing you can do with that list, make it the night before and ABC it. And don't get to any B items until you finished your A's. So somebody comes in and says, hey, I'm in a hurry, and you go, I'm sorry, you're urgent, you're not important. A's, are important. So I'm happy to get to you when I finish. Now you have to decide, are they a B, a C, or are they a D? And if they're a D, you will get to them when you finish your A, your B, and your C's. Okay? So keep your list if that works for you. I had a client years ago, the only thing that worked for him was sticky notes. That's fine. Do you know I use an old-fashioned, sitting right back there, I still use an old-fashioned calendar. I like handwriting stuff. I'm a writer, so it makes sense, but I like books, I like paper, so I use an old-fashioned calendar. But within it, if you open it up this week, you will see it says, call Pat. Because I call Pat every month. And it's on a sticky. Because I don't know if I'm gonna get to her this week. And if I don't get to Pat this week, I simply pick up the sticky and I put it on next week. And I have one that says pick up meds at Walmart. And after I pick up the meds this week, I will put it in the back of the calendar because I will need it again in 3 months. Okay, so the point is, whatever your organizational system is, you don't have to stick with one. I'm using both written and sticky notes because it works for me. Okay, self-care. Did y'all know that self-care is time management? The healthier you are, the better you sleep, the better you eat, the more often you exercise, and sorry guys, we're adults, having sex regularly, you are a healthier person, okay?
Preach.
Self-care is important. So,
I didn't hear that last part. Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
I was way over
give me your
here.
wife's number, I'll call her and say, hey. Okay, another, you have to know yourself. If you are simply not a morning person, stop scheduling stuff in the morning unless you have to. Now this you have to, okay? This is important. But if you're not a morning person, don't schedule anything until 1 in the afternoon. Use your mornings for yourself. In addition to knowing yourself and what time of day you're at your best, I'm best in the morning. I do my, all my numbers, checkbooks, budgets, all that stuff. I do those like 5:30 in the morning because that's when I'm on it. I once told the boss, I will not agree to anything, any numbers that you make me do after 3:30, I can't guarantee them. Okay? I know it's not who I am. But I had a client once, he says, my best time of day is 11 o'clock. Ha, what are you gonna do? I said, what do you hate most? He said, I hate doing my paperwork, I'm in sales. I said, fine, do your paperwork at 11 o'clock at night. No one's there. You won't be interrupted. You're at your best. What'll happen? He also, because he was such a night person, I told him also, stop doing 9 a.m. meetings. So you have to know yourself and where you're best. If you are a procrastinator and you have a project due Friday, go to the beach. You're not gonna work on it. Just go enjoy yourself. If you are not a procrastinator and you have a project due Friday, go ahead and get it done Monday because you know you're going to, then go to the beach. Come back on Friday and give your presentation. But don't kill yourself because it's not who you are. There's nothing wrong with being an early riser. There's nothing wrong with being a night owl. Just own who you are. That's my 8 minutes. So we still have 2 minutes to either ask questions or I can give you more hints because I have a whole bunch of them. Okay, know your product. The better you know, again, it's not because you have to, it's because it's a time saver. The better you know your product, the better you know your customer. Okay, I have friends in this room, and because they're friends, I know what they like and dislike. So somebody who I know is a chatty Cathy, I'm like, okay, she's gonna wanna talk for half an hour. I need to schedule an extra half hour beforehand. Okay, so if you know your customers well, you can do that. You can also call back people who like to talk when you know they're not home. Okay? So, hey, I know if I call and say, you know, the Sunday dinner is starting at 2, but I don't want to talk to you for half an hour, text them, leave a message. That phone, I have these notes, I'm not actually looking at them. Who pays for your phone?
I do.
Right? Your phone. Who pays for your telephone? You do. That means it's for your convenience. Get out of the habit of answering every call. That phone is for when it's convenient for you to talk to people. And it's not a bad idea to let some messages go to voicemail anyway. But think about it, if it goes to voicemail and they don't leave it, tell them time management, you get 24 hours a day and 365, once every 4 years, 6 days in a year. Life is too short to not live it well, okay? So these are just some, love to talk to you guys about more. I have 30 seconds left. Anything else I can tell you?
So sometimes I'm a listener.
Yes.
And so like I was at a lunch the other day, a guy talked for an hour and a half straight. Do you have any tips for cutting it short?
Yes, a couple things about that.
Sorry about that, man.
My bad.
People love to hear the sound of their own voice. And I have said before, blessed is the man who has nothing to say and can't be convinced to speak. They are few and far between, sadly, okay? And I have heard a lot of speakers stuff 10 minutes of conversation into a 45-minute presentation. Kills me. So, how to deal with it? If you're on the receiving end, you sit in the back and you leave. If everybody walks out, they're gonna get the message, okay? But if you wanna talk to them, the rule is you always start with your best information. People are like, oh, I'm gonna save the best for last. Honey, no one's gonna be here. Even if they're here, guess what they're doing? That's what they're doing the entire time. Start with your best information. Then if somebody does have to leave, at least they heard your good stuff. Okay? Would love to talk to everybody. Have a great day.